Today, I want to talk about a very important topic that affects everyone worldwide. It doesn't matter where you live, what business you do, what you're up to, what you have going on the planet, and it has to do around personal self-worth. Now, why is that important? Well, whatever you're up to and creating, let's just say you want an incredible relationship, one that's loving, safe, nurturing, powerful, productive. It infuses you with energy. And you're looking for that as well in business partnership or whatever you're up to. Based on your self-worth is what you are going to attract to you. Now, let me repeat that. Whatever you want to create with personal relationship or business relationship or partnerships, however you feel about your own personal self-worth will determine how those things play out. Now, why do I say that? Well, I've been through it myself in my life personally, and I've seen other people go through it that when your self-worth is low, because it's connected to vibration and frequency and attraction, when it's low, you attract people that have a low self-worth as well. Because it's sort of impossible for someone of a high self-worth or high vibration or high frequency to attract into their circle or into their life someone of a low vibration and low frequency. It's very difficult. Just like light cannot attract darkness. Up is the opposite of down. Positive is the opposite of negative. Power is the opposite of lack of power. Positivity is the opposite of negativity. So we can't expect to feel bad about ourselves or have a low self-worth and expect to attract high self-worth activities. It's not possible. It's not possible. And so we really need to understand and master that, because I see people all the time telling me, well, Anil, I'm going to connect with this person and I'm going to partner with this person and I'm going to talk to this person. And as I'm dealing with them from their conversations and how they're being, I can tell they don't feel great about themselves. They have a low self-worth. They haven't spent time working on themselves to elevate their self-worth. So I look at them and I think, well, I don't think that's going to play out well for you, because you're not bringing a good frequency and vibration and energy to the table to attract what you say you want. And sometimes I bring it up with them and they get upset because they don't want to hear that. And someone usually that has low self-worth gets upset when they're confronted, or someone brings something to their attention, they get defensive, or they get angry, or they cut them off, or ghost them, or avoid them. That's someone that operates with a low self-worth, because the proof is in the pudding. Those are the signs of someone with a low self-worth. Whereas someone with a high self-worth, they're constantly working on themselves. They're aware of their strengths and weaknesses. They're vulnerable. They're open to suggestion. They take criticism, constructive criticism well. They are not arrogant, closed off, egotistical, prideful. They're open. They're open. They're open to advice, counsel, mentorship, coaching. They're open. And then they put into action right away what they learned, because they want to keep their self-worth high. So it's very important to understand that in connection with self-worth, we must believe that whatever we talk about, whatever we put out into the universe through words, we must believe in our heart of hearts that we deserve it. So having a good, strong, healthy, high self-worth is connected with strongly believing that we deserve what we say we want, and then we follow through with that with actions to generate the results. Because talking about what we want and using fancy words and posting stuff on social media and promoting what we want doesn't mean we're going to generate what we want if our self-worth is low. Does that make sense? Because it's like a magnet. Based on your self-worth, you're going to pull the clients you want. You're going to pull the money you want. You're going to pull the relationships you want. You're going to pull the amazing experiences you want to you, because your vibration and frequency is so magnetic. It's like, it's like molasses. You stick your finger in it, it gets all gooey and stuck because it's so binding, right? So keep that in mind. And I want to share something with you right now that one of the quotes that transformed my life many, many years ago from the late Jim Rohn, who was actually one of my mentors. I got mentored by him. I got to meet him 3 times. It was phenomenal, just incredible. And I want to share a quote from him that really transformed my life many years ago. And it still continues to. I refer to this quote from time to time when I need to get my shit together or get my head straight, or I'm getting flustered or frustrated. I'm not generating the results I want. I can feel my self-worth dipping and I want to keep it high. I want to keep my vibration and frequency high so I can magnetically pull what I want to me rather than talking, doing posts on social media and no one's taking me seriously. Okay. So here's how it goes. He said, and this is very profound. I think this goes back to the 50s, 60s, if I'm not correct. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job or your business. If you work hard on your job or your business, you can make a living, right? You can get by, cover your bills, maybe save a little, have some money for a rainy day, go out on the town. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. So let me repeat that. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. Income, now here's a caveat, here's a kicker. Income seldom exceeds personal development. Very powerful and profound statement. Income seldom exceeds personal development. Now, what does that signify around self-worth? Well, your income is a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. Your income is a direct reflection of how magnetic you are. Your income is a direct reflection of your worth, your self-worth, your belief system, how you view yourself. It has very little to do with anything external. People think wealth is created by doing a bunch of things. No. People think, well, wealth is created by working hard. That's not true. People think wealth is created by running around like a chicken with your head cut off, chasing people and pursuing people so they can do business with you. That's not true. Wealth is created and success is creating, from what I'm learning, because I'm doing this every day to improve myself, with how you feel about yourself. Believe it or not, because when you study, let's just say, successful people, anyone you look up to, people in Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, anyone successful, when you really pay attention to them, because I study people and I watch biographies, I spend a lot of time reading books and studying biographies of famous, successful people. Right away, I pick up, wow, this person really loves themselves. They are not a victim. They got closure on the past. They got complete around trauma. They left stuff behind. They're not running around trying to prove anything to anybody to validate themselves. They're not seeking anyone to like them or acceptance. They love themselves and have such a healthy view of themselves that they pull whatever they want to them, whether it be great relationships, personally or business, whether it be money, whether it be stuff, whether it be whatever. They love themselves. They have such a high value on themselves. And so I want to encourage you with our lesson today around high self-worth and your belief system and being magnetic to figure out what in your life you're still hanging on to. What trauma is there? What is incomplete? What upsets are there? What gets you into victim mode and feeling sorry for yourself? What gets you down? What makes you fall out of high frequency and vibration to low frequency and vibration? And these are some signs. I see it all the time. Hey, what are you up to? Oh, nothing. I'm not doing anything for the weekend. I've shut my phone off. I don't want to talk to anybody. Okay. Here's another thing someone will tell me. Thank God it's Friday. To me, that's low frequency. That's low vibration. Who cares if it's Friday? Every day, you should be working to feel amazing. It should be, thank God I'm alive. That's what it should be. Here's another thing people tell me. Anil, I don't want to deal with anybody. I've had enough of people. I don't want to talk to anybody. That's low frequency. That's low vibration. And there are many, many others. Do you know that someone who ghosts you is operating in low frequency? Yes, they do. Because here's why. They would not like anyone to do that to them, yet they do it to others. That's low frequency. That's not being magnetic. That's being entitled and conceited and thinking way too much of yourself. Ghosting someone, not responding to them, not communicating, not letting them know what's up is low frequency and vibration. It is. Here's how I can prove that. Let's just say you're working on a multi-million dollar deal, or you're working on this amazing partnership. And that you needed that to happen for you to create whatever you want and get what you want. Would you ghost that person? Of course not. So why are you ghosting everybody else? Why are you not being open and communicative to everybody else? You're only dealing with certain people because they can benefit you. It's what you can get out of it. Then that's low frequency. That's low vibration. You think it's high vibration. It's not. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. How you treat people is going to come back to you 100 times, 100-fold. How you act and behave will, in time, prove who you are and show who you are and generate the results of who you are. It doesn't matter if you run around and do business and do talks and do Zooms and do speeches. It doesn't mean anything. Those are just words. It's like someone taking a bunch of pots and pans in the kitchen and just clanking them together. It's what I call noise. It's nothing more than noise. It has no effectiveness. How do I know that? Well, sometimes I'm on people's Zooms and I'm on some people's calls and I get on their lives and they invite me to their YouTubes and their podcasts. And there's maybe one or two or three, maybe 4, 5 people on their event. And they claim to have hundreds and thousands of followers. So where are these people? And that's because you have a low frequency and vibration and a low self-worth, those are the kind of people you're attracting to you. So guess what? They're operating with low frequency and vibration and they have a low self-worth. So a bunch of low self-worth people are hanging out together. How can anything be produced? How can anything happen long term? It can't. It's not possible. It's total opposites. What you need to do, what I need to do daily is raise our self-worth, work on our language and communication, connect with people with high self-worth that are up to big things, not talkers. Let me repeat this. People are up to big things because they have a high self-worth. I promise you, these people are not going to ghost you. They're going to respect you. They're going to message you. They're going to honor you. They're going to follow through on their word and commitment. And they're going to not ever not have your back. Because remember what Jim Rohn says, our income rarely exceeds our self-worth. Our income rarely supersedes how we feel about ourselves. So you can talk all you want and do whatever you want. If you don't understand and master the fundamental of having a high self-worth and having a high belief system and feeling great about yourself and getting rid of trauma and baggage and whatever is holding you back or victim mentality or whatever, it's impossible to attract and create what you want. It is. You're just wasting your time. So what did Jim Rohn say? Work harder on yourself than you do at your job and business. So my recommendation with this lesson is spend more time working on you. Spend more time working on this. Because once I get this right and I get this in alignment with what I say I want, without my high self-worth and magnetism to pull things to me, then everything around me starts transforming. Better quality people start showing up with high self-worth. I have high self-worth activities that are going to generate high self-worth results that are going to be sustaining and strong. And I'm not going to be spending time chasing and pursuing people that don't value me because they have a low self-worth. And I don't care what business they have or where they live or what they drive or nothing like that. There are people with low self-worth that live in rich neighborhoods. There are people with low self-worth that drive fancy cars. There are people with low self-worth that have big bank accounts. That doesn't mean anything to me. What matters to me is who you are, who I want to spend time with, who I want to surround myself with. Are you going to help me elevate my game and become a better human being and a better partner, have a better relationship? Or are you going to be someone that's like a vampire or a leech and you're going to suck the energy out of me and drain me every time I deal with you? No thanks. No thanks. And I've been there. I've gone through that in my life, personal relationships and business relationship. And I am I am over it. I'm crystal clear now on self-worth and magnetism and attraction and vibration and frequency. So repeat this lesson as often as necessary. Have honest conversation with yourself. My previous lesson, I talked about having the conversation exercise in the mirror, having an honest conversation with yourself. Well, this is another honest conversation that can help you with creating whatever you want with personal or business relationship and attracting the kind of clients you want and the people you want and the results you want. Because when you work on your self-worth and vibration and frequency and attraction, you're no longer chasing, you're pulling, you're pulling what you want to you. And you don't have to do any convincing. You don't have to do very little talking, chasing, pursuing, running after people. That will come to an end, or it'll be very, very minimal. Because why? Because you're valuing yourself and who you are. So this is AnilNOW GOYA mentorship. Goya again is get off your ass. So you need to get off your ass with your personal self-worth and get that bad boy up to a high level and then maintain it. You know, there's a saying, and you know this is true. This is a simple saying. It takes more effort to get a rocket ship into space than it takes once it gets into space. Because once it gets into space, you get the gravitational pull of the moon pulling it. So it needs minimal, if no fuel whatsoever. It just needs to steer and navigate. However, when it's leaving the platform at Cape Canaveral in Florida to go into space, it has to fight against the gravitational pull of the Earth. So it has to, put in a lot of thrust and effort. Sometimes, tremendous amount of fuel is burnt and energy is dispensed just breaking through the atmosphere, stratosphere, and into space. Once it gets into space, the moon grabs it and pulls it. So why do I bring that up? Well, how much energy do you want to put in with stuff? Do you want to constantly be putting in a lot of energy and fighting up against things and struggling and doing all that stuff? Or you want to do stuff with ease? You want to do stuff with grace. You want to be productive. You want to take 1 hour doing something that would take most people a day or a week. Does that make sense? And so when you raise your high self-worth and you get yourself up to speed, once you get into momentum, then you don't have to put in that much effort anymore. Does that make sense? All you got to do is maintain the speed now, maintain the velocity, maintain the direction you're heading, because you've gotten free of gravity. And some of us, we're allowing people and situations and things in our life to pull us down, to drain us, to exhaust us, to leave us tired physically and mentally. And we need to bring an end to it and bring a stop to it. So this is Anil talking about personal self-worth today and your belief system, vibration, frequency, and attraction, and learning how to become magnetic and pulling things to you. So I'm available if ever you want to have a conversation and talk about this topic. Again, subscribe and follow me on my YouTube channel. This stuff is free, but it's worth tens of thousands of dollars for those of you that get this. For those of you that get this and you're not lazy mentally and you're willing to put in the work, this could be worth a lot to you. This one lesson can transform your life. So thank you for paying attention. I care about all of you. That's why I do these lessons. And I just love it because it also reminds me of my life. And it's like a sounding board back at me like, Anil, how is your self-worth? How is your magnetism? How is your frequency? How is your vibration? How is your attraction level? Are you drawing things to you? Are you pulling people to you? Or you're out there chasing, pursuing, looking for approval and dealing with people that really don't care? But they're nice and polite and they agree, but they don't care. And they're not going to take any action because they have low self-worth. So be safe wherever you are. Be smart. Watch who you spend your time with. Give your time and energy to people that are deserving, people who are working on their worth value. And remember, you are precious. You're amazing. You are beautiful. You're wonderful. You're powerful. So keep treating yourself that way and do not allow people to make you feel any other way. Take care, and we'll talk soon.